Hi, my name is Hannah Muse and I'm the team leader for Red 7.
Hi, I'm Matt, and I am one of the two VSTs for Red 7.
My name is Phoebe Frosto. I'm the Project and Community Liaison, Co-Liaison, and Food Co-Coordinator.
Hello, my name is Paris Jones.
Hi, I'm Josiah Simpich, and I'm a Vehicle Safety Tool Coordinator.
Hello, my name is Jeanette Lopez-Sanchez, and I am the Project Community Liaison.
Hello, my name is Michael Wolverton, and I am the Hawk as well as the Food Co-Coordinator for Team Red 7.
Hi, my name is Nicholas Ox Tagdarini.
So at Lutheran Social Services, we cleaned 10 apartments and houses, painted the interior of 3 houses, and bagged and sorted donations for a holiday drive for over 400 participants. With Daughters of Zion, we bagged and distributed over 400,000 pounds of food for over 7,000 families. And with Rebuilding Together Sacramento, we demoed and built 175 feet of fencing. So in terms of the project work, I'd say it was about maybe a 6 or 7. There were times where we didn't have work to do and there was a lot of lags in the work, and that was with Lutheran Social Services. With Daughters of Zion, it was a lot more structured and a lot more work we could do, so I would have that like a 9, I'd say.
I would rate this project, I would say I would rate it a solid 7 for Red Team 7. Because I say this because it's very, it was very good, very fun, but I think we could have done a little more.
I would rate this project a 7.5. I think we got to work with some amazing sponsors, Daughters of Zion, Rebuilding Together Sacramento, and Lutheran Social Services, and I think we got to learn a good bit. So
On a rating of 1 to 10, I would rate my project work on an 8.
For project work, I'm going to give it probably a 7 out of 10 because I feel we accomplished the goals that we needed to, and I think everyone was fairly engaged with the project work, but I definitely think there could have been a higher level of engagement.
So I would rate the project engagement on a scale of 1 to 10. I think a solid 8, specifically because it was our first project and we worked with so many sponsors. We work with a lot of hands-on things. We worked with the food bank, with Daughters of Zion, and we also worked with Rebuilding Together Sacramento, where we worked with a lot of power tools and putting up fencing, something that people haven't really done. So it was very...
On a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate our project work a 7 out of 10.
Project sponsor staff support, I'd say it was like an 8. They were super supportive. The communication could have been a little bit better, especially with the changing schedules and whatnot, but I'd say the support and the kindness from them was like 10 out of 10.
Project sponsor staff get a 10 out of 10 rating.
I would say the support level on the sponsor people would be a solid 10. They were very supportive, very nice.
The project sponsors, they weren't able to communicate what they needed to us before we had started work for that day, but definitely I do think that the project sponsors did make a good effort to communicate with us and support us while we were doing this work.
So with rating how well they supervised and how well they executed their instructions, Rebuilding Sacramento did pretty good. They honestly let us do a lot of the work and learn ourselves, but they did supervise. Craig did supervise. He gave pretty good instruction, but he also just wanted us to experiment. Thankfully, we didn't have too many incidents where we hurt ourselves.
With service learning, I'd say that was about a 6 or 7 as well. We didn't do as much as we could have, and I think there were a lot of aspects where we could have had more service learning, but I think we did learn a lot and we were able to have those moments of learning, such as with Lutheran Social Services when we had that resume building and interview example days where we got like mock interviews. That was really helpful.
For community engagement throughout the project, I believe we had good community engagement with Daughters of Zion, being able to directly help the community, very hands-on work.
On service learning, I think that I learned a lot, even things that I already knew some about. There's better ways to do it than how I had been doing it, or there's things that I learned new completely throughout each job. So I really liked learning through those forms of service.
Engagement. For service learning, I think 7 out of 10. I feel that overall we had a decent service learning experience. I definitely know more about the community that we're serving now, but we could have had more community engagement.
We also did more service learning with Daughters of Zion, and they took us around the block and they showed us a lot of the situation that was around the area, who were the people that we were going to be helping, and who it was going to be impacting. And I think that was very important for us to see. So I would rate that. I'd say a 10 out of 10. That was a really good idea. That was how it should have been, and I'm grateful that they showed us, because the next day we saw the line of people who we were giving food to, and that was a very long line. We didn't expect that, but we could see the impact almost immediately, so that was very nice.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate our service learning a solid 6 out of 10.
Some challenges that we faced were definitely the team changing a lot. So we lost a member, and then a week later we gained a member, a temporary member that's only with us for the rest of the round. And so I think that was tough on the team and also that individual, just that adjustment and making sure the team dynamic and our work was evenly distributed. And another challenge is that a lot of the team got sick a lot and got injured, and that really was a setback. Having every week we at least had like one person that would miss a day, and that was really difficult to manage.
Major challenges the team faced. I would say that one major challenge is kind of like sickness. A lot of us get sick. And I think that's we should take more steps to make ourselves cleaner, wash our hands, wear a mask everywhere to avoid getting sick. Another thing is also sticking together. There's been a couple of times where we've been separated on certain events such as trails, or walking around the town, and we didn't quite couldn't really find each other sometimes, but it's okay. We found each other. We're good.
Major challenges the team face, I would believe, is communication. And how we overcame that is communicating.
Some challenges that we faced as a team were not lack of, but lessened member security, especially towards the beginning whenever we lost members after CTI, and then a different member applied for a support team leader position, which was really good for him, but that meant we lost him. We lost a different team member, and then halfway through the round we gained a team member. So I think that with more consistency, we probably would have operated more normally, but this gave us a chance to adapt.
Challenges for this round, I feel that a big challenge for us was the fact that we didn't have one sponsor that we'd go work for every day, or even a split round. We had 3 sponsors each week at least, and that was definitely difficult because we would have to wake up at a different time every day. We'd have to go to a different place every day, and while that was a challenge for us for scheduling and lateness and just the overall hectic nature of this round, I feel that it helped us build skills related to being on time and scheduling, and it helped us be prepared for anything.
So, some of the challenges that we all faced being together with a new group, with a group, honestly, it was already a challenge itself. A lot of us aren't used to being around people. Personally, I'm not used to being around people that often and having to talk constantly. I remember my throat being sore for the first 2 weeks. But challenges we faced, obviously we did have our storming phases, but thankfully we've been able to recover pretty quickly. So something we struggled with at first was safety. It was definitely a bit of an issue at first because we did have a few incidents where people hurt themselves, not each other, themselves. But we learned pretty quickly. I spoke with my team leader Hannah and we addressed it in our one-on-ones, and the next day she immediately threw herself into action and was like, okay guys, we need to get this together, and literally immediately there was improvement, and I'm so proud of our group for that.
Some major challenges that our team has gone through is some social frustrations with each other as individuals. I believe that some successes we've had, though, is overcoming these social frustrations together and finding a sort of balance between each other. I like to be proud of this as well.
Successes were definitely the amount of work we did accomplish. Like with rebuilding to Sacramento, we learned so much with so many tools for building fences, and we built so much, and it was really straight, it was really professional looking. I think we did a really great job with that. And Daughters of Zion and Lutheran Social Services, we accomplished so much, and we were really efficient with the work. Like with Daughters of Zion, we did repetitive work. Like every single week we helped with the distributing food at the food bank every week. So we really got in the flow of that and learning about the inner workings of the food bank.
Major successes in this round include doing nice things like wrapping gifts and cleaning for people, most of whom we'd never even meet.
Successes, discussing major successes around the round and how to make them successful. I'd say, I guess energy is one big one for me. I like making energy throughout the team and kind of helping people get motivated and in my own way. I think it's also great that when we're in our work zone, it's kind of like we're in our own zone, and we get things done as a team. We don't isolate ourselves and do things on our own. We kind of work together, which is really cool. It's a really strong characteristic of the team.
Our time with rebuilding together, I think we got to learn a good bit. Not a lot of people knew how to put a fence up or how to hold a hammer or use a saw, so I think that was a very great learning experience, and I got to see, even in myself, a lot of people have accomplishments through that.
I would definitely recommend them again because they are all great sponsors, they're good projects. The only thing I would say is switch it up, which they'd probably do anyway, because not that it was a bad combination, it was definitely good, but to switch it up.
Successes for this round, I feel that we definitely had a lot of successes, in the realm of stuff we did tangibly, we fed a lot of people, we restored a lot of fence, and we definitely helped maintain and revitalize a lot of units for tenancy. But I also feel that our team has grown to be more efficient and effective with our work, and we've grown to be able to communicate better with each other, and we generally have a better team atmosphere while working, and I feel that is a success as well.
So some of our successes have been how quickly we've learned how to handle tools and how to appropriately handle ourselves. I think with the tools, a lot of people learned it really quickly. I had previous experience because my mom did a lot of reconstruction and remodeling, but other people had never built a fence or dug a hole in the ground with heavy machinery, and I think everyone got the hang of it pretty quickly, so that was one of our successes. Also, the way we communicate with each other, the way we bonded, the way we the way we resolve issues. That's also something that we have improved on, and I think right now we're at a really good point where I don't see any conflicts in our group at the moment, so that's really good.
What are some core member benefits on serving the project? I would say, well, we do get some nice, good food. I'd say that's good off that team card. Along with, let's see, I don't know, just like seeing people, new people, kind of working with new people, especially from the LSS and other various project organizations. Another benefit I would say is, I mean, you can, take home a lot of memories, which is cool. I think that's a cool benefit.
Would be the resources we have on campus. Thankfully, the resources that we have are like a walk away. We don't have to worry about laundry, which is always great. So yeah, I think that would be one of the benefits.
So I absolutely do recommend that we send people back to those projects. They are very educational, very hands-on, and it felt like other teams about how they hadn't really done much of what we were doing. It was mostly just working with food drive or working solely on one thing. Thankfully, we had a variety, and these projects and these sponsors were all really great, and they're really great projects. Working with Daughters of Zion, you get to engage with the community, and you get to see the people of the church engaging with the community and giving back, and you get to see how all of your labor it has a purpose. With working with Rebuilding Together Sacramento, you get to put up a fence, you get to learn so many new skills, and I think those skills come really in handy, not just here in AmeriCorps, but also just in your daily life, once you're out of AmeriCorps. How to use a drill. Again, a lot of people don't really know how to do that, and so that can be really useful one day. And I haven't talked about Lutheran Social. Well, with working with Lutheran Social Services, that's also a great project to work on. Everyone's extremely kind, but also you get to reach out with a lot of people and a lot of different organizations. We worked with a lot of people who had been experiencing homelessness, and we painted their houses, we cleaned up their apartments, and it really helps, and you can see immediately how they feel so much better about living there and just living, and it's nice to help give people a purpose.
Some benefits from serving on this project include future experience when it comes to construction and cleaning and painting, as well as other things such as free food, honestly.
Would I recommend this project to future teams? I think I definitely would. There was definitely a variety of work that we were able to do and a lot of skills we learned, and we were able to do that over and over again, which was really helpful to learn those skills and really hone those skills. There were some aspects of the project that could have been better.
Having a lot of fun in these. Recommendations to staff. I would recommend sending a future core team to this project. I would. I think it's really, really cool what we do, whether it's food drives or if it's just building fences. It's really cool, hands-on experience. I wouldn't, I'm not that kind of person that would just stick in a cubicle all day. I give respect to people who do, but I think working outside in the field is really fun and really worthy. And yeah, that's me. That's Nick Tagliarini right here. Thank you very much.
I think our sponsors were great, so I definitely would recommend future teams having the same sponsors as we did. Yeah, I think that's about it.
I would definitely recommend them again because they're all great sponsors, they're good projects. The only thing I would say is switch it up, which they'd probably do anyway, because not that it was a bad combination, it was definitely good. But to switch it up.
I personally think that although this round for me personally wasn't my favorite, I didn't necessarily love the type of work we were doing, I feel that it's important work and it still needs to be done. So yes, I definitely recommend it